Essentially, this is a book about a woman who has a really close relationship with her pillow. On this month's I Read Weird Smut episode, we are reading Stuffed. Fitting name. I do love when the titles are actually really fitting. Um, I don't know anything about it really. I read one sentence, 1.5 sentences of the synopsis, and I went, yeah, sure. That's generally how it goes for these. If you do not know, what is happening is I once a month at least read a weird smut. I talk about it. I give you my reactions. Tell you what's happening. Usually the part that makes me scream a lot is whatever happening is lore wise to make it so that they are having intimate relations with an inanimate object, food item, or monster. Usually makes me scream. Those are my favorite part. More than once I have said I am here for the lore and the world building, especially the door one. That one was wild. And so this is another one of those, and this one's with a pillow, hence why it's titled Stuffed. Apparently, it's a whole series. I think there's 3 books now. We'll see if I continue. I haven't continued any of the series so far. I say that there's an asterisk because I do plan for next month to be a continuation of one, which was one of the food ones. Speaking of all those, there's a playlist. It's up above in the cards. There's many. We got minotaurs. We got different types of foods. We got potatoes. We got squash. We got tomato and cucumber in the same one, but they're also priests. That one was great. We got bananas. We got inanimate objects like different cutlery, right? And a door, and now we got pillow. The end. You know what? When I heard about this was one of the ones where I went, yeah, okay. Like, it didn't shock me that much. Like, this seems like a low bar of weird smut because there's a running joke, low key, that I made it where I was like, maybe one day I'll write one of these as a joke because I read so many of them now, right? And like I could see how it's a good writing exercise. I think this came up with the squash one, because like the author of the squash one typically writes normal, typical books. Same with the Civil War ones. But then they were like, hey, you know, it'd be funny if I just wrote this instead. Haha, I'm going through a breakup. And, like, be an extra couple dollars a month, maybe, from people reading it. And then, you know, and I'm like, you know what? It'd be a good writing exercise for me. What if I do one? And then I was trying to think of a random inanimate object. The first thing that came into my head was chair. And I went, that's kind of fitting, actually. And pillow was the same vein for me. That was before I read those 1.5 sentences of the synopsis. From my understanding, main character here, she is very touch adverse, right? So she's very much like, there's no way I'm gonna be having with anybody. And it's gonna be hard for me to find love, blah, 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 right? And then, somehow her pillow comes alive and they're together forever. I don't know how that happens. I'll let you know when I read it. But, also, the second sentence is about how, she already gets herself off with her pillow. That's why I'm saying this progression is, like, this seems an obvious one. This is a low bar, right, to cross, because, like, she's already having fun times with her pillow. Now she just gets to join in on the fun. The things I say in these videos. Anyways, I'm gonna go read it. It's 85 pages. It's just long enough where I don't think I'm gonna do live recording of my reaction the whole time. Right? But, if anything comes up, I'm gonna have my recording set up available close by, so I can just, like, quickly hit the button and be like, okay, this is what happened, what the fuck? And that's gonna be it. That's gonna be the whole video, the end. Stay tuned if you want to watch me have to scream about pillows.
Hello, hi, I'm 3 pages in and she's already getting herself on her pillow, off on her pillow, with her pillow. The touch adverse thing, it's getting a little OCD-esque. at least of like the 3 pages I've read, a lot of it has to do with the germs of other people, right? And other bodily fluids and all that stuff touching her. By the way, her name's Anne, I believe. You'd think I know this. Anyways, and so like she almost runs into a guy on the street walking back to her apartment, and then her landlord, typical sleazy landlord type situation, right? Is all like, "Hey, rent's almost due. You got it, girly? Wink, wink." You know, the type. And because of running into him physically, she's all like, "I gotta go. I gotta take care of this." And like, deep clean shower, burning hot shower with antibacterial soap because she touched another person. Which is why she doesn't think dating is for her because like, yeah. And whatnot. But the one man she has a crush on is a fictional character in an anime that she loves. And so she is currently watching that anime, getting off on her pillow with her pillow. Good times. Chapter 2. Her name is Anne. Pillow's POV. Oh, I love it when I get their POV. Oh, it's wonderful. It is actually much better when you get their POV as well, let me tell you. It's very interesting. Anyways, maybe she doesn't have OCD because afterwards, she doesn't even change her pillow up. She's all like, I'll just flip it over. Like, it's moist, but I'll just flip it over and change the pillowcase tomorrow. No comment. What the hell? I'm so happy as you continue recording. Oh my god. I'm just gonna read this aloud to you. Though I was part of something alive once, I barely recall it. A phoenix it was. Once upon a time, this phoenix, a powerful and ancient creature known for its ability to regenerate, fell in love with a goose. God, the lore, every time. Every time. I swear, if I ever write one of these, I'm just gonna have a wheel, and I'm just gonna put random shit on the wheel, and just spin it 3 times, and those 3 things are what my lore is gonna be made out of. Because, like, that must be how they do this, right? Oh my god, the goose got cooked so the phoenix died of sadness. Too heartbroken to be revived, it perished in a funeral pyre of its own making. Okay. Oh, okay. So before the phoenix completely burnt up, one of the feathers floated and ended up joining all the goose's feathers. And a bunch of humans went, hey, I assume this is some good old ye olden times. And goose feather pillows thing. So they took all the feathers and put them in a pillow. But the phoenix feather was amongst them. And that's how this pillow came. Do people still make goose feather pillows? I don't know. Mine's memory foam. That doesn't make sense though, based off of how she was describing the texture of her pillow when she was writing it. You know, I think I read. So I don't know. Anyways, oh okay. The passion from her using her pillow like that gave the pillow, well, that one phoenix feather, just enough spark to have at least some semblance of existence. That's why. And an aching desire for Anne. Okay. Oh, okay. Every time she does this, it gives more energy to the pillow, and it's slowly building up more life, more mass, more energy to be with her. I don't know how to describe what I just read. So there's a fly. It briefly lands on her, and then lands on the pillow, and the pillow absorbs the fly's life energy, and the fly dies. And the pillow, it becomes more alive. How far am I into this book? 8 pages. Okay. This is gonna be a wild ride. Apparently, the occasional fly life force is just enough to make the pillow, make itself puffy and, the right texture and cool. But to come alive, the pillow needs a little more energy. And, the thing with every man in this book, apparently, every human man, is they're all, sexual harassers. Every single one. Her landlord, the teenagers who, they like hang out at the corner near her apartment, her coworker Todd, right? And so she's had to deal with like all 3 of them very recently. Also, she had like 6 work meetings in a day. She's dealing with a lot. She's the only woman on a team of game developers and whatnot. So like she's dealing with a lot. So she comes home and she's emotional, and he's like, the pillow's all like, I need to become alive sooner rather than later. And then previously when we met Todd, And Todd's harassing, and to make her go on a date with him, and she says no. She ends up dropping a bunch of her stuff, and apparently one of them was her wallet, and in it was her ID with her address. And so he takes it and shows up at her door, and then forces himself inside her apartment and sits down on her bed and like, let's hang out. In the process of being like, let's hang out, ends up touching the pillow, and the pillow sucks his life force. Honestly, valid. You know what, pillow? Yeah, go for it, pillow. Doesn't kill Todd, but Todd's now an elderly man, and also the police had to come because he passed out, and so she had to call an ambulance, and then they had to be like, hey, how do you know this man? Right? And she had to be like, he's a coworker who forced himself into my apartment. Right? So that's fun. And the pillow's all like, you will have me tomorrow. Anyways, as expected, according to the first two sentences of the next chapter, everybody at work is like staring at her, which is obvious. A coworker is found suddenly like 40 years older in the apartment of the only woman in the department. Yeah. People are gonna stare. Understandable. She fakes a migraine to leave early. Honestly valid. Girl, go for it. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to reading this. This is her pillow murders people to be with her. So because she came home from work early, she catches the pillow transforming. And it's not complete yet. It was doing it while she was at work so that she wouldn't have to see it. So the pillow was just a half-formed pulsating thing in her bed. Okay, so I'm halfway through the book. The pillow has a name and officially a gender. His name is Ori. She gave it to him. So he got her to essentially describe her dream man, so he could change his form to look exactly like that. Fun times. They're holding hands in bed, low key cuddling. When suddenly his head flops over. You know when like a pillow can't support itself, the top half like flops over. Yeah, that happened. He's got to take more life force to be less pillowish. Yeah, yeah. Uh, so now he has to describe to her that he takes his life force from others, and that she has to find somebody for him to take life force from. That's what's happening right now. Yeah, no, the pillow's like, I explains it to her, and she's like, yeah, you know what, valid. Todd deserves that. And then he's all like, I don't suppose you know any other massive assholes you don't mind being drained of their life forces. And she starts laughing. Because yeah, every man she knows. Every man in this book. I'm expecting the landlord. The landlord makes so much sense to do because it's easy to get him into her apartment. Just be like, hey, my sink is flooding. I need it to be fixed. Come up, please. Hey, look at my pillow. It's a cool pillow. Ugh. This reminds me of a horror book I read last year. I think it was called The Har, Haar. Similar thing happened. Except it was a sea creature blob thing. So fun. They make a play at it, and she rubs her hands together and cackles and says, "Let's go for a walk." Honestly, valid. She's gonna clean up these streets. She does say she only wants to take a little bit from each one, just a small amount. Just a small amount. That's so funny, actually. Anyways, yep. First, she takes him to the teenagers at the corner who heckle her, who harass her. Normally, they just say a bunch of stuff about the day before they like grabbed onto her and stuff. So, yep. This is gonna be interesting. They're like 19 years old. Okay. The amount of anime references. There's just a Death Note one. Also, her favorite anime she talks about this butler and whatnot, and I'm pretty sure I think it's called Black Butler. I haven't seen it in forever. Like I watched one episode a long time ago, but like, where's my Oron? You know, the greatest anime. I'm kidding. I did love it. Yeah. His ears blowing in the breeze. Oh, that's funny. The hooligans. He calls them hooligans? I'm sorry, are you from the 80s, sir? Oh, okay. So, essentially he uses their life force to become more solid, so, like, no falling apart issues. Um, but there's one part he hasn't built yet. And, when she came home from work, he already had pants on. You, yeah, and he wants her input. Like, he thinks her input's really important, so he just hasn't built it yet. So he probably needs to kill it, or not kill, but he needs to suck some life force again to build himself a dingling with her input. I don't. Okay. Oh, I think they're about to get it on. Oh, oh. I feel like I just said the thing about the dingling. I should mention earlier, I didn't record it, sadly, because my live reaction was hilarious. In which he blatantly said within like her knowing that he exists for like 2 minutes, that he wants their previous activities to continue, but this time instead of grinding on him that way, on his face. Yeah. Why is face sitting always a thing in these books? The amount of times that's happened in these books is more than you would expect. Especially when, like, they're World War II soldiers, super soldiers, right? Right? Like, it happened in every single one of those. I feel like I should explain, but I'm not going to. Silverware. That's what I'm gonna say. And now a pillow. Like, how would an ex-Phoenix now pillow know what I mean, I guess. Because he does watch all the shows that she watches because the TV's in the bedroom. And different sexual media, especially animated sexual media, picking up what I pointed out, she apparently watched it there and he enjoyed it. So I guess he has some knowledge that way. I love trying to decipher how a pillow knows different sexual actions. Anyways, oh, don't worry, the pillow has issues getting her bra off. Wait, at moments like these, I wonder what I'm doing. Oh my god. Oh no, they're kissing for the first time. Oh, yeah, I did just say that he took off her bra before. She's shirtless before they kissed for the first time. Okay, you know what? They did a lot of things together. She just didn't know it at that time before they ever kissed. And his mouth feels like satin. Okay, would you have to put him in the laundry machine to clean him instead of taking a shower? Do you hang dry him? These are the important questions that come into my brain reading these books. Imagine mid foreplay having to stop your partner to be like, hey, sorry, I don't have a dingling yet. I wanted to wait for your input. Just an everyday occurrence. Oh my god. I have like 6 chapters left still. I don't understand how. Oh, that's why I thought it was 19 chapters. It's actually 16 chapters. I have like 4 chapters up, including this one. Okay? You didn't just see me counting. I don't know. I guess it's just gonna be 4 chapters of them. They haven't eaten the landlord. I want them to eat the landlord. Sentences I say in these videos. I swear, you can take so much shit out of context in these videos and make me say a lot of things. Hi, puppy. You a good girl. I'm sorry. Because of her lack of experience, she hasn't seen many male appendages. Most of what she's seen has been online, either by searching for it on certain websites, or mostly unrequested pics from men. And so now she's basing what his will look like based off of what she likes from those. I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. A little weird. Yay, we get awkward sex scene. This is no. I come here for the lore, and the lore happened in like chapter 2. I'm kind of bored right now. I'll be honest. The words I'm about to say. She grinds so hard. She flattens his nose, and he needs to regrow it. I'm so mad the landlord hasn't been eaten. Like, I have like 2.5 chapters left. I have 20% left. I'm almost done with this book. And this is a very long smeck scene. And they haven't eaten the landlord. What am I supposed to get out of enjoyment if they don't eat the landlord? Is that going to be the next book? I will continue if I get to witness the landlord being eaten. That's what I decide. Okay. I have 2 chapters left. And it's been like 3 chapters of Smexy. Bella, what if the landlord died? I mean, I expected it, but still, he changed the size of himself while inside of her. That feels like it'd be uncomfortable, right? Like, I don't. The things I think, reading these books, really, I don't. Okay, so I brought up the fact that she likes to watch animated stuff, and, he enjoyed watching it with her. I didn't bring up that tentacles were brought up during that conversation, and when it was brought up, I was like, does that mean he's gonna grow tentacles at one point during his next scene? The answer is yes. The answer is yes, I guess. I'm sorry. 3 tentacles. It's her first time. This is a lot for her first time. Oh my god. In case you're wondering, because this is important. In one of the previous ones, I think it was the priest, VeggieTale, cucumber tomato one of them at released tomato juice. On this one, he releases feathers, which is so funny. But that also means that his pullout game better be so good, because I do not want any feathers up in there. Thank you very much. I'd be more freaked out about that than anything else in this whole situation. But she just is like laughing. She thinks it's so fun and great. The landlord just arrived. Oh my god. Wait, this is the greatest thing ever. So this is what before it was being like it was assumed he was fine after taking the little bit of life force from the group of like 19-year-olds, right? But I assumed it would be like a regular thing. Apparently it is a regular thing. And it happens that Jimmy the landlord, one keeps on trying to up her rent because she has a boyfriend now, right? And so he's doing that, but also he's like barging his way into the apartment, like going towards the bedroom. And he hasn't told Anne yet, but I think, yeah, he sucked most of the life force out of Jimmy. And now he took up so much life force that he's starting to grow real skin. And the issue with that is that, she's touch averse. She doesn't like the feel of actual human skin. She likes the fact that he feels like fabric because it reminds her that he's not a real person, right? What is the sequel about? View in store. Important work. I got view in store, so I can read what the hell the sequel's about. Okay, I'll wait for this. And I will reposition into an actual position, right? And talk about my final thoughts for this book. I did not plan to record this much of my live reaction, but that's whatever.
Double stuffed. Anne and Ori got their happy ending and stuff, but what happens when the feathers are swept away and they need to handle more than fluff? Ori, now addicted to fan fiction and the concept of the Megaverse, has no job and no goals other than making Anne happy and raising his pet fish Carl. Having enough of his layabout lifestyle, Anne decides to bring them to the one place in town guaranteed to get Ori out of his case, the mall. After a day of excitement, a frightening encounter in the mall causes a terrifying change in Ori. Then Ori causes an even bigger change in one of their friends. A friend they're now responsible for, who's now human for the first time, and who's madly in love with Anne. There's gonna be another pillow. Oh my god, I just realized you can see the dog. Hi, puppy. Hi, puppy. Aw, I'm her pillow. I was a Bella pillow this morning. It was very sweet. I love you. My little baby. My baby. She's my puppy. She's just a little baby. Don't listen to the vet when they say she's an elder dog. She is a baby. She is a puppy. A very furry puppy. I just brushed you yesterday. I don't know how you're so furry. Okay. Can Ori accept the consequences of his actions when his relationship with Anne is at stake? Can he overlook the feelings developed inside his own feathery heart for this new man in his life? It's a throuple. Will Anne reject one man to protect Ori? What will happen when she sees the chemistry between the two newly human men? When things start to get fishy, why did you choose that wording? And problems will rise to the surface. Who will end up double stuffed? Um, um, I have no comment. You know what? The fact that it has an average rating of 3.5 feels fitting. Speaking of which, stuffed, while I took the break for wait for my Kindle to load, I did do all my catalog and rate stuffed, and I rated it. What did I rate it, Bella? 3 stars. Hi. Oh my god. Such a baby. It was fine. The smut, listen, the one thing I will give it, the smut, up until the tentacle part, up until the sentences I say, was pretty good, being as it was like, one, he's a pillow, so clearly it was his first time, but also it was her first time. So like, it's pretty good. It was yeah, for that. The lore was so basic, and also like brought up once and never brought up again. Though the sucking the life force out of bad men, including Carl, the landlord, iconic. I loved that part specifically. Will I continue the series? I don't think so. I don't want to read a Megaverse again. I already had to do it for one of these videos. That's enough for me. I know, right? And that's that. Oh, I have a playful puppy. She's half in my lap. You can't eat your own leg. No eating your own leg. So soft and fluffy. I love you. Anyways, my dog distracted me a lot on this final update. Thoughts and opinions. Book is fine. Like, if you want to read any of these, this is the most basic one. Like, if you want to be wildin', do the VeggieTales Priest one. Or the door one if you want to do object ones. The door one is wild. On the scale of wild, if I were to do a tier list for at least just specifically the object ones, this one would be like bottom tier of wild. Top tier would be the door one, and middle tier would be all the utensil ones. Mostly because the forks vibrate. The fact that I will be infamously famous, or continuously famous, continuously infamous for me screaming, the fork vibrates. Yeah. Anyways, that's my thoughts. The end. I already talked about how there's a whole playlist of these. If you want to give your thoughts and opinions about which of these books I should read, join my Twitch community. Links below. Hi. It is where most people, when they find books like these and they're like, hey Rose, I need you to read this, that's usually where they send it to me. The Twitch community is the reason why I did that whole Priest VeggieTale one, or the Omegaverse one. Like, I'm not, like, yeah, so, nobody requested this one. This one was just on my list, because nobody requested one in a bit now, but that is a whole thing. Speaking of which, speaking of Twitch, there we go. I can't speak. I'm dehydrated. I need to drink water. I didn't drink water this whole time because I didn't want to mess up my lipstick, but now I get to do that once I finish this. Speaking of Twitch, linked below, I mentioned that Wednesdays are slightly edited gaming videos from my streams. I also do a bunch of reading and co-working. I don't really have a schedule, but that's all below the end. Saturdays are book to videos like this one. The next one, Bella, what's the next one? I think the next one is the series one, but I just checked 69 pages into the first book for that video, and it's over 590 pages. So that may be pushed back a little bit. We'll see. They maybe switched around. There's a schedule. It always changes. The end. That's everything. I'm actually really hungry, and I need to chug water. Which is great because I was sick yesterday. The end. Goodbye. Until the next video.